Yes, what's happening, people? We are back. It's our live podcast. I'm your boy, Movie Boy Jimmy. And right now, today, we're going to discuss something called mental health, okay? Something we all have, something we all need to be aware of, and that's what we're here to do today. I'm joined by someone that's really, really close to me in life, someone I've grown up, always listened to, took advice from, and up to today, he's still that person for me, alright? You go by the name of Mr. H. What's happening, Mr. H? You good?
Evans B family.
Come on, my guy. Today's a really good episode, and I'm happy to be doing this with you and sharing this with everybody else that watches and listens. Mental health, man. About mental health, just quickly, what today will be about. This episode, what can you offer?
Okay, so today is first and foremost is that whoever is going through this thing, mental health, they need to know that there is a way out.
Yeah.
They need to know that we can get through it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because mental health, bruv. Someone said it's not mental health. We all have mental health.
Mental health is something we all have.
We all have mental health.
So there's a difference between good mental health and bad mental health.
120
Mental health is the core.
Yeah.
Mental health is your health in your mental state, basically.
Yeah. And when they say, do you have mental health, it's a case of, if you haven't gone through certain issues,
Yeah.
if you haven't gone through certain pains in life mentally, then you don't know what mental health is.
Really.
You have to have gone through it
Yeah.
and then better yourself to know what mental health is.
Okay, cool.
Because we go through life and it might be a thought, it might be a feeling, and you go through life looking at this thing, and it's pulling you down, and you can't work out why it's pulling you down,
Mm-hmm.
or what so mental health is finding out if there is an issue, if there is a problem, finding out what the issue, what the problem is, and then fixing it.
Yeah, because we all want to exist, because we all need to exist, but sometimes through emotions and maybe through out of character situations, then we start to think, who is it? Is it us? Is it life? Is it my job? So just for clarity, because what you said just then, we have to go through it to overcome, to realize where it is.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it really is an unfortunate situation, but it's life. For people watching this that are really intrigued of what we're going to be putting into this situation and information, what is mental health? Like,
Okay,
really?
so you know they used to say, what is logic for one man is madness for another. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was going through my thing, they diagnosed me as paranoid schizophrenic.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I looked in the hospital, St. Bartholomew's and Homerton, it was just full with black people. Do you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, then I think it was.
Did you know about that situation in the hospital before you got diagnosed? Like, before you got diagnosed, did you know there was a situation happening about mental health that you later found out?
No.
How
So-
long ago from today was your
Like-
first experience?
So it's like when obviously going through the thing, you don't notice it at the time.
You don't?
You know, but it's later on in life when you sit down and to reflect and you think, wow, there was a lot of black people in there, man. Brothers and sisters that some of them you thought was on holiday or was in jail. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certain man you thought was in jail, and you end up going to the mental institutions and you think, rah, that's
Yeah.
where my man is.
Yeah.
What are you doing in there?
Yeah.
And it was a case of some of them got in an argument, or they got in. Literally, look, black people are passionate, brother.
Very much
You
so
understand?
passionate,
And the fact that some of us, we talk with our hands or we're loud, and
Yeah.
people have taken that as aggression.
Aggression.
And because of that, many brothers have been
Yeah.
institutionalized.
Yeah.
Because you lot are too aggressive. You lot are too aggressive.
Well, I get that at work. Even just like there was a situation I was talking to, like even a female that I felt I got along with at work, and she did something that I didn't agree with. So I questioned her about it, and she straight away dismissed me. Do you understand? A bit of that sass, like just dismiss me, and so I was kind of like, no. So just as you say, with my hands and everything, and apparently after it happened, after the verbal it stopped, her version of the situation, and somebody else that walked in who was also a Caucasian woman said I was coming across a bit aggressive, and to me personally, I'm a big man. I know what level of aggression you can call it aggression.
For sure.
Like, this was professional conduct, like, but automatically what they're hearing and what they're seeing is two different things. They're just seeing who I am.
They've put us all, especially black men, do you know what I mean? If anybody over 6 foot, scary black man, you know? And again, because of our passion of expression, because 9 times out of 10 you see a black man, a group of black men, they're normally laughing, you know? They're normally skinning teeth, yeah? And the minute that somebody would upset them, obviously our demeanor's going to change, our attitude's going to change. But me being passionate with you doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to hit you.
Yeah, of course not.
And many a time, brothers have been like discussing things, and we get passionate about the thing with it. All right then, this is a sore subject for me. But football, you know how men all over the world get passionate about football.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Right.
Is a big thing.
So when we're having a conversation, depending on the topic, depending on the seasoning, we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know? And if you've upset us and you said something that's not necessarily right, we're going to express that.
We express it. No harm to you. We don't mean nothing bad to you, but it's
right.
It's
and
how we do.
This thing about us being aggressive, I remember staying in a hostel and somebody upset me. I was raising my voice. And the woman turned to me and said to me, "Why is your kind like this?" I was like, wow. So there you go, typical stereo.
The question's void now. Now I need to understand why you. Do you understand?
You know.
So let's take it back to obviously you getting into that hospital that day. I can imagine before even getting into the hospital, you've already been suffering for whatever. Do you understand? I can imagine.
You know, just with that now. So the problem out there is that too many people haven't or couldn't recognize what was going on. So for me, thankful for the love of my family.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably couldn't do this by yourself.
The first attack, no. The first attack that I received.
Obviously, yeah.
You know, my mum, my family, my brothers, my sisters, they was there for me, man.
Good.
And the one thing that I acknowledge is that I realized, I said to myself, I need to get help.
Good.
I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. And that's what it was.
Good.
Acknowledging the fact that I need help.
So, how bad could not being not having acknowledgement quick enough?
Yeah, if you don't recognize the thing, then you're in trouble. And the problem that we have is
pride.
That pride. And I'm gonna say this is not just a black thing. This is a man thing.
Yeah.
We've got too much pride. We don't know. And look, growing up, when they've said, "Oh, don't cry, dust yourself off," so on and so forth, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But a man needs to be able to express his emotions.
Of course he does.
He needs to be able to say, "I don't like that." Yeah? What it was growing up, if you don't like it, you punch it.
Cool.
Nah. So having gone through certain things, you realise, because unfortunately, for me, when I was hearing the demons in my environment, they just wanted me to hurt people.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So.
And does it vary? Because obviously meeting people inside, let's just go back into getting in there. Was you shocked at the certain level of different stories, or was it quite common? It was
the surprising thing about it. The surprising thing about it, and the comforting thing about it is that I wasn't alone.
Good.
I wasn't alone. Do you know what I mean? So when I actually got there and I started, because to be honest with you, fam, I never noticed how many brothers and sisters was in there until I actually came out, you know.
Until you came out.
Until I came out and I had recovered from that trauma.
Yeah.
Then I realised, wow, there was so many brothers in there. There was so many sisters in there. There was like, And not only just like brothers and sisters, the majority of them was brothers and sisters, but there was other ethnicities. There was a Jewish youth in there. Obviously, there was Turkish and Greek, so on and so forth, but the predominant. And the only reason why this Jewish guy stood out for me is because I saw him in the area. So that was another thing. There was people who I grew up with, as I said, and I thought some of them was on holiday, and and they was locked up there under medication, being used as guinea pigs.
Good. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Most importantly, the medication part of things now. Now, for someone like anybody out there, even myself, being diagnosed. So I'm diagnosed. I might be diagnosed with your situations.
God forbid,
God
brother.
forbid.
And I said that because it's like this, as I said.
Oh, we'll just talk about how it was for you then.
Yeah.
Getting in there, you're diagnosed.
What it was, when I got self-admitted, first and foremost, so they was easier on me.
Yeah.
Because I was self-admitted. But remember, bearing in mind, as I said, other people have been forced in that environment.
Yeah.
So one of the medication that they gave, everybody was on, was a thing called haloperidol. Yeah, and it had different side effects for different people. So they might give me haloperidol. Haloperidol gave me constipation.
So what was their reason for giving it to people?
Because as I said, everybody in there was labelled as a paranoid schizophrenic.
Okay.
So by labelling everybody the same thing, they would give, let's say, 5 individuals haloperidol and the next tablet. I'm not going to call any other names because I'm not going to. I can only tell you what I was on.
Two types of tablets, but each people.
Yeah. So one was haloperidol for a fact, and the fact that me personally, it gave me constipation. It possibly gave somebody else the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So they had to give us. They would ask us every day what the symptoms was. Do you feel all right? Do you feel this? Do you feel that? And according to what we said, they would say, okay, you're going to need a dose of this to compensate for that. And other people, they say, oh, so you feel like this. Oh, you're going to have this for that. Yeah. So they'd give, let's say there was 5 medications, they'd give 10 people the first one, and then they'd give the second person one of the other 2. Do you know what I mean? So they would continue.
So don't you think, in terms of having a body with, obviously, that could have all these side effects, isn't it a big risk to try these things on people to find out?
Then they didn't care.
A result.
They didn't care then. That was the thing. It was experimenting, and unfortunately, I'm going to say it again, there was experimenting on people of colour.
Yeah.
You know? So...
How much did that depend on bringing down mood as well? Because I can imagine, or am I thinking too deep, that people of colour, and let's just say people that were forced there, a big part of what they need to do for that person as well is calm them down too. All right? That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So in regards to therapy, calming people down, unfortunately I witnessed them, my sister couldn't have been no more than 5 foot, and they physically grabbed her, roughed her up, threw her to the ground just to give her an injection. Do you know what I mean? And that alone made me think, rah, if they give me medication, I'm going to take it because I don't want them to do that to me.
So to do that to the sister, was it life or death? No.
It wasn't, but look, as I said, to control the people, in order for them to... So look,
how important was it for them to hold her down?
She came in, and whatever issues she had going through, it was a case of she was expressing herself. And again, because of expression, they was fearful, you know?
Yeah, so it's too much for them.
It's so, brother, you know, because of the things that people are going through, the emotional turmoil that they're going through, we react certain ways. And self-expression is one of the things that we, you know, and because of our passion, again, people have misconstrued our passion for aggression. And by that simple fact there, that's why my sister had to get injected.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean? Right, so that was that. So other people that was in there, as I said, you get to understand that people was in there because of different things, going through different attacks throughout their mind.
Yeah.
And I say attacks to the mind because, as I said, some was hearing voices, some was hearing sounds, some, you know, The ones that was hearing sound felt like they was getting dragged towards the television. The ones who was hearing voices, it was voices that was telling them to do things. Some was harmful things, some was to self-harm, some was to hurt other people.
Okay.
You know? So, and the medication, as I said, they experimented. Depending on what you said, they would give you medication to subdue, to nullify the mind. Because, as I said, because then they didn't know how to stop such things that was taking place. They had to find out, if I give him this, we have to check to see what that side effect is.
Yeah.
If we give him that, we're going to see if there's a side effect for that. If there is a side effect for that, then we're going to give him something to counteract that, so on and so forth.
So what if nothing works? Is it just all, is the word medicinal, is it all like just medicine based and pill based and tablet based, or was there no physical therapy?
Ulterior medicine.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if nothing works and at the same time maybe the side effects are making it worse?
So, I can only speak from my experience.
That's what we're only doing
and
today.
I'm going to, by the grace of God, I don't know whether you lot believe in or you don't believe in, but at the end of the day, that's what helped me through this thing. The knowledge that, I'm going to get through it. The fact that, to be fair, I stopped taking the medication, you know.
Yeah.
I took the medication when I came out of hospital for the first 6 months.
Okay.
And then after that, I put it down.
Yeah.
I went through the thing, the madness in my head, all those years of going through the madness in my head. But I still knew at the end of the day, there must be something better than this.
Come on.
There must be something better than this. I reached to a point where I was at my lowest point. I was at my lowest point, and I looked at myself and I said, well, I can't get no lower than this.
You can't.
Yeah, I was walking on the road
It's war now,
in
innit?
my pajamas
Yeah, it's war now.
and a shirt. So I said, I have to fight back, man. I have to.
It's a war.
So the following day, I had to go. I went to the church. There's a big church up in Finsbury Park, the Rainbow Church.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I said, Lord, you know what? It's time now. It's time now for me to fight back. I've gone through this and no more.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
And how was that? And was the Rainbow Church? Because a lot of us know about the Rainbow Church, and a lot of us kind of make jokes about the Rainbow Church. Not on a mental health joke, but they're weird because it's not the normal church.
See,
Do you know what I mean? But they're doing something in there.
you know, I didn't actually go there I think I actually attended a service in there once.
Yeah.
But the day that I actually went there was a Wednesday, and I went in there and I simply said, ladies and gents, I'm here to have a word with the Creator. I'm not here to disturb anybody. And I presented my case.
Yeah.
I left it at the altar. And I walked out there knowing that my burdens was left, man. I didn't have to worry about a thing again. Yeah, man.
A lot of things in life can have that effect on us. Like if I visit my people at the grave, or if I go and
The spiritual connection.
just go somewhere that's a peaceful place for me, you know, and make that commitment to myself.
Yeah.
There's certain places you can go. Do you want to get a tissue?
I'm good, fam.
You sure?
Yeah.
There's certain places I can go, and just that space gives me that
Peace of
trust
mind.
in myself
Peace
to make
of
that
mind.
commitment to myself.
It's-
I'm never gonna do that again.
Peace of
I'm never
mind,
gonna
man.
drink so much again. I'm never gonna. I need to focus again. And when I come back, and I'm around that social influenced environment again, I feel much more stronger than if I lied to myself, literally in the bathroom. Do you understand? So, how and what can we do to prevent mental health? Is that even something that makes sense?
Can mental health be prevented?
Like, can we prevent mental health before it obviously gets to
All
a
right.
point where you need help?
Yes, you
'Cause
can.
we all need help.
Definitely. You know what I think first and foremost is don't bottle things up, man. Don't bottle things up.
In other words, suppressed as well.
Yeah, don't suppress the
Don't
thing.
suppress, don't bottle things up.
No, if I have a bad feeling, if you've upset me, I'm supposed to be able to come to you to say, fam, I never liked that. Please don't do that again.
Yeah, straight.
Do you know what I mean? And if I got the love and respect for you as well as
You're
myself,
supposed to say that to me.
and then I'm not going to do that again because I understand that it upset you.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So, brother, it's a case of being mindful. Be mindful of self and be mindful of others.
Yeah.
My mother taught me to don't take liberties with anybody, but don't make no one take liberties with you. You can't do that. If you allow someone to take liberties with you, then what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of you being here?
Yeah, so as
You know
much
what
as
I
you're
mean?
mad at someone taking liberties with you, you got to be mad with yourself as well.
Yeah, because you
what do
allowed that to
stand for?
happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like this. The same way that my mum says to me, don't allow anyone to take liberties with you. You have to think about it spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I felt mentally, wait, I'm being disrespected mentally. And whoever it is, whatever it is, I've said, look, if you want to come and reason with me, we can reason. If you want to chow blow, we can chow blow. However you want to do it, we can do this. I gave them ample time to find me and reason with me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they never chose that avenue. So then it was a case of, well, boy, I have to start a fight back. If it's a case of, I know if I went outside now and somebody was to step in front of me and challenge me, I'm going to deter them verbally, physically, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So if that's the same way that I'm living now, why can't I do that mentally?
Exactly.
If somebody attacks you physically, you're going to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So why, in heaven's name, wouldn't you defend yourself mentally if someone's attacking you?
Of course I would.
Because we have a right.
Yeah, it's part of my survival skills.
Come on.
Yeah.
But people forget, if you're being attacked spiritually, you got to know within yourself that, I have the option to fight back.
Yeah.
I'm obligated to fight back.
yeah.
If I want to survive,
If I want
I have
to,
to
if I
fight
have
back.
any chance of surviving,
Come on, man.
I've got to practice as much as these fights as well. Do you understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
look, we take it for granted. The same way that someone will get up and do their press-ups and go for a run, or man go to the gym, so on and so forth. The same way we've got to educate our mind. You've got to read a book.
yeah.
We've got to do our maths, because it's like we don't lose memory, you know. We just lose the skill of what we was doing with it. Do you know what I mean? So if we continuously practice to build the mind, then we can protect ourselves from,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, I know, like doctors, they always try and help, but I think most of what they do, and I don't want people to get this confused, when your doctor sees that you might be suffering, until it gets to a point, they'll give you stuff to do to take yourself out of that comfort zone, to put you in a situation where you're socially doing things and actively doing things. So they would always refer things like the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as much as you're at the gym, is it fair to say don't put that 100% on you building your mindset? Don't use that as a tool to build your mindset, but use that to build your social and be out again, not so introvert. And then
Yeah, I
what
think,
do
you
we
know,
do from there if you're very strong physically, but your mind still needs
yeah,
to...
you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You've got to, because they say healthy body, healthy mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you're going to the gym and you're like, you got your muscle head, then you're gonna be thinking like one way. Do you know what I mean? So you need a balance.
Yeah.
You got to have the balance. You
You
can't,
have to have the balance.
you know, go in gym every day and
So would you say you would turn into even madder man coming out because you're feeling
because,
strong,
yeah,
and if your mind's telling you evil things, you might
then
go and
it's
lift up a car or
wild,
something. You
know,
understand?
even worse, drop the car on somebody's toe.
All right,
you
then.
know?
Do you understand?
So, yeah, but seriously,
just eat.
balance. The balance is
eating as well as the gym.
brother. They say whatever you consuming. So what you consume physically, yeah, is what you're putting in your body. So if you're putting shit in your body's gonna feel like shit. The same way, if you put shit in your mind, you're gonna be
shit.
constantly thinking shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So avoid all
wrong
of that.
shit.
The wrong shit. You know. So meditation definitely take.
I've just started doing that recently, and trust me, that peace.
You know, one thing I was always adamant about, because of the constant chaos within my environment.
Yeah.
Every single day that I saw the light, I asked for peace of mind. That's what I was fighting for, you know, peace of mind.
Yeah,
Because it was the chaos, and it was dirty chaos. It was to the point where the demons was rancid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And again, as I said, fortunately, it allowed me to see certain things now. So what was once an affliction turned out to be a blessing.
Come on, man. So, what? Just like for people that's out there, and we're living a real type of life now where there's so much things going on, and we can't hide away from it. And that's what a lot of people try and do in this open world, because now there's a lot of things that we accept, or the the world wants us to accept, and there's a lot of things that the world has put us through. But just for people watching now, just to have a common situation, if they are going through that, what could cause mental health, especially in today's world? Because you're very old school, but now you've gone, like you said, you've gone through it, to beat it, to know where it is, and now you probably look around thinking, God, there's so much things that a lot of these young brothers could easily suffer from.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like even lockdown being one.
The lockdown,
not being so severe, but
you know,
some people didn't come back from lockdown.
You know, it's that thing there turned a lot of people. You know, there was people who was already stuck in their house. So people who were stuck in their house, it wasn't too bad for them because, or should I say, people who didn't want to come out of their house. Yeah, this lockdown thing wasn't too bad for them. But it was for those who was constantly out, those who was constantly going to the gym, those who was working. So it was a case of not being in the house with your spouse or a loved one, but then all of a sudden you're there under their feet, you know. So that had a knock-on effect, a great deal.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine a couple mild situations.
You know, it was from the experience that I experienced. The more that you was around somebody, the more you literally saw, you know, you people saw new people. They discovered, wow, I don't really like this person. Or
why
you know,
why they keep doing this? I've never
so that was that. In that case, it's what was once cute is now irritating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That was definitely a situation.
And that's because they never spoke up.
Yeah.
People didn't speak up, so it just got on top of them, on top of them.
And didn't realise it was a problem too.
If you nip it in the bud, then it can't manifest.
Exactly.
And we need to talk about things. You can't, you know, look, this demic thing, what it should have showed us was, okay, rather than taking the scenario or the situation and using it to drain you and pull you down, let it lift you. Right. I know people who it worked out for them, whereby the family started training together. A family that trains together is a family that stays together.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And I see it like this: if I know that me and my woman were training, and God forbid we go out on the road and somebody misbehave, then I know that it's either the two of us running away or the two of us laying hands. You know. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, train, eat, drink, pray together, like. Because even before this demic thing, right, people lost touch. We had lost touch. You know, there was people who we would only think about, we wouldn't speak to them but due to the demic now, more connections. We started calling one another more often, checking in on one another more often. So, all right, now the demic's over. Don't forget about the people that you was checking on. Do you know what I mean? Don't forget the people who you was probably stranded in the yard with, because
all the people that you was moaning about you couldn't see in hospitals because they said you couldn't see them. You know. So now you're allowed to see them.
Go and see them.
Are you turning up every day that you would wish you was to
see? So you're not being mindful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All right. There's a for instance now. One day I was coming out the house and I saw a snail. Now a simple snail. I carried on going out the path and I thought, wait a minute. You said that you're mindful. So I put my bike on the side, I got up and I picked it up and I put the snail in the garden and I went on my journey. So for the rest of the day now, I've been telling people how I saved the snail's life. Yeah?
And
I
feel that way though sometimes.
I felt good about that.
Yeah, I feel so.
Had I had stepped on it, or I had left it there, if I had left it there for the rest of the day, I would have been saying, well, you should have moved that.
Yeah, wonder if you should have moved.
Yeah, and then that would have been playing on me. But because I was mindful of how I'm going to feel later on. Move it out of the way. I'm a happier person.
And you could rest assured that they're going to have a great day.
And also that snail said, boy, the big man saved me this day. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel you on that one.
Yeah, so be mindful. And as I said, I went on for the rest of the day spreading joy. It felt good to know that I saved that. Some people might look at the snail, it's only a snail.
Yeah.
But I was mindful. Do you know what I mean? So if Again, when I said before, if I've done something that you don't like, or vice versa, you're supposed to be able to come to me and say, boy, you know what? And I should, as a man, I say, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to say.
There's nothing.
Why you can't say sorry,
No,
man?
no. Well, that's like again a pride, isn't it? And pride is part of mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you can't talk to people, if you
feel you can't open up,
yeah,
there's no one you can open up to. If you feel like when people say, "Oh, there's no one I can talk to," I hear a lot of some people vent to me and don't know what they're doing and saying they can't do.
Yeah.
Because you're venting to me, but saying you can't. There's no one you can talk
All
to.
right.
But if you're opening up to me to say that emotionally, then I'm probably someone you can talk
But
to.
Snooks, check this one. Now you got people out there, right? Who imagine you got a group of man them sitting down, and somebody wants to start a conversation about something. You might say, "Boy, I ain't been feeling too well about X, Y," and then next thing you know, someone within that circle, shut up, man, allow you, your waste, man. So they've shut him down. He can't express himself anymore. Yeah, but then you have to look at the one who's shutting him down. What's his thing? Do you know what I mean? Why doesn't he want to hear it?
Yeah.
There's a possibility that he's feeling the same way,
Yeah.
but he's like saying, "No, man, you're supposed to be." Do you know what I mean? So that's the problem. We need to be able
I think
to.
that's a lot of things that's going on, especially with crews, groups of boys, or even females when they're with their friends and everything. There's a lot of things that will get shut down because there's a person within that group or whatever that really is ignorant to a lot of things to shut things down.
I think
that stunts a lot of open conversations.
Yeah, but it's more, you know,
within
what,
that
brother?
group.
Yeah, with girls tend to more open up with girls, so that's cool. That's not so much of a. I mean, I'm not saying that.
But
all
there'll
women
maybe there'll be a one girl in that crew that is very dominant in that crew, and say if another girl in that crew says, "Do you know what? Just ain't sleeping. I don't feel too good." And because of that one girl saying, "Stop chatting rubbish, man. Let's just roll, man."
Yeah. So I suppose
and the majority of that crew can't feel empathy for that person now because we've just shut it down. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that happen. It's crazy because this is what leads to boys that are in gangs or getting into in trouble. There's no cry
because
for help
they don't know. No, there's cries for help.
I mean, there's no
how they don't know. They don't know.
How can they cry for help in with people that they spend nearly 70% of their time with?
Yeah,
you know?
And they're in the same vicious cycle. You know.
You know, I mean, if young Bob wants to take a break for 2 days because the crew's getting too much, he's gonna get labelled a snake and dodgy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're moving dodgy, man.
I think we need to re-educate our youths. Them is what we need to do and show them at the end of the day, expressing your feelings, your emotions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Being able to cry at the right time, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? You can get angry, but control your anger. If you got angry and you went out and you start boring people up, that's not going to benefit nobody. None at all. Not the victim, not you. You know what I mean? But look, there's ways of resolving conflict without throwing blow. There is. Yeah. And men who go around thinking that because they can fight, that makes them a bad man. And no. A true warrior doesn't go out fighting. A true warrior looks to keep the peace. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A true warrior wants to preserve life, not take life. Yeah,
I see that as well, because I think the true warriors and bad men are the people that I'm still seeing today, and that I know have walked through a madness of, but still could smile in my face like this. But all the other men that was not the real ones, are sadly not here no more. So whether they're in prison or not, but that's another thing. I just want us to touch on something quickly, if you don't mind talking about it. It's like the pros and cons of cannabis while mental health is a situation. For 4.5